Hello there everyone, and welcome back to I Film Things. What the hell was that voice? I am Philip, and today I'm trying something a little different. This video, and the next, I think maybe 4, will be a mini-series all about the different types of lighting. What they are, how they're done, the whole shebang. And each video will be lit in the techniques that I am talking about in that particular video. So today, it's all about natural lighting. So without further ado, this is natural lighting. What is natural lighting? Natural light is something that occurs naturally, like fire or the sun. But for filmmaking, natural light is just another way to light a scene. It can be molded and manipulated with stuff like a light sheet cloth, and this will help you capture some incredible compositions. How to effectively use natural light. Okay, this first one is better used when you're outside, but use the sun as your backlight. And this, again, when you're shooting outside, is an important one. By having the natural light be the backlight of your shot, you'll avoid harsh, unflattering light and large shadows. Both things that, on a normal shot, you probably don't want. Instead, you'll produce a nicely lit, even shot that will create some space between your backdrop and your subject. Then you can use stuff like reflectors to key light your subject. Choose the right locations. When using natural light to shoot, you need to ensure that the location you're using will have enough natural light in it. For example, if you're planning to shoot with just natural light in a house, you gotta make sure beforehand that they have either large windows or some sort of skylight so you can get enough light actually into the room. Right now, I'm using my window as my key light because it's the only source of natural light I have in my room. And checking for natural light sources is one reason why location recce is so important. You can check that there aren't any obstacles outside that will block the light, like trees or other buildings, and you can make sure that it has the right resources for you so you can shoot with natural light. Choose the correct camera and lenses. When shooting in natural light, you need to make sure that you have a camera that has a lot of range, that can deal with the more shadowy areas in the shot to ensure that the details of the shot are maintained. It's absolutely the worst when playing back the raw footage to see grainy patches in your film's defining scenes. So please, for yourself, choose the camera that is right for the shoot. And it's the same for lenses. When shooting video outside and inside, you'll want to have something like a wide prime lens so it can pick up the low contrast. This will allow you to get clean and pristine footage, perfect for post-production. That's right, I'm alliterating now. Preparation is king. When shooting with natural light, it is imperative that you prepare carefully for your shoot. Before shooting in your location with natural light, you'll want to visit the area beforehand, check when the sun rises and sets, and see what cast shadows that might interfere with your shot. And that's just a few things. Ultimately, you'll want to plan each shot to the minute to maximize the natural light and the camera angles to suit the scene. You'll want the crew to be prepared and ready to go so you can capture your shots meticulously and plan which angles you want to capture and when, especially during the magic hour. But I'll get to that in a bit. The perfect setup for using natural light. Now, as I've already said, for when you're shooting outside and also inside if you have some big fat off windows, use the sun as the backlight. This lets you use diffusers to soften the light, then use flags to shape and direct the light best for your shot, and lastly, use reflectors for your subject's key light. This is great for conversation scenes and even interviews. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to film this video with the perfect setup, and I will quickly show you what exactly my setup looks like right now. Okay, so before I start recording properly, I just want to quickly show you the setup I have at the moment. So, my window, which is all overexposed to hell at the moment, that is my key light. I've got my little side light here, which is just my big LED panel with my makeshift cardboard barn doors and a diffuser, which is just a pillowcase. And I've got a little fun backlight, which is my little LED panel with my blue gels, and I've got the reflector out because it's one of the things that you usually use, especially for outside scenes where you're using the natural light you have around. So yeah, and that's where I sit and hit this, and this is where the camera's going to be. So this is generally the setup I'm using for today's video. I hope that shed a little bit of light on my situation. So you make the best with what you've got. How can I diffuse natural light? When you're inside, you can use a diffuser or a big white sheet or two to cover where the light is coming from, and this will soften and spread the light more evenly. Or when you're outside, you can always use the clouds. Overcast is nature's diffuser, or you can use bigger diffusers and just position them in front of the sun in relation to where your subjects are. What is the magic hour? The magic hour, or sometimes called the golden hour, is the last hour of sunlight before sun sets and the first hour after sun rises. The light is warm and full of oranges and reds. It's perfect for filtering out blue light, which is more what you get during the day. The warmth helps people relate to kindness and happiness, and this has been utilised by many an indie blockbuster. Natural light during the magic hour creates directional shadows and flattering lighting setups that you can use to your advantage. As the magic hour doesn't really have any direct sunlight, it just makes it softer and generally nicer to look at, allowing you to shoot crisply detailed and cinematic shot compositions that will only enhance your film on the big and the small screen. What are the restrictions when shooting with natural light? 1. Time restrictions. Time restriction is one of the most significant issues when dealing with shooting only with natural light, as you only have a set amount of time to shoot. To manage this, you need to plan. Ensure you use your time wisely whilst on set. Planning can help overcome most of the obstacles and help you maximize your time on the shoot. 2. Unpredictability. The weather can turn on you, whether it starts raining or have the super fun thing of clouds blocking out your light, dulling your shot. And that's kind of what I had to deal with when recording this video. I tried about 11 or 12 iterations of setups before I landed on one that seemed to work. And even then, halfway through recording the video, I had to change up my camera settings to combat possible overexposure. That's a bit better. To combat the unpredictability, make sure you always have an extra day of filming to capture any shots you may have lost on the previous day. It sucks having to rush a shoot and get mediocre footage. Be patient and always book one more day of shooting than you think you need. And number 3, light direction. Occasionally you'll find the light direction to create too much contrast or create overbearing shadows on your subject that look out of place. This can be combated by doing some good old location recce beforehand to look out for any potential issues. And you can also use the location recce to see when the best times are to shoot. An example of natural light used in film. As I'm trying something new with this mini-series, I thought I'd take the time at the end of each video to recommend a film that uses the techniques that I have talked about. There are a ton of examples of natural light used in films. Today though, I direct your attention to the 2011 indie classic, Submarine. See if you can spot where these techniques have been used, and just tell me what you thought of the film in the comments below. And that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this new style of episode, and I'm going to be continuing the mini-series next week. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it helped you in any way, shape or form. If it did, like, comment and subscribe. And as always, stay safe, stay creative, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!